Hello world, double thumbs here. So my girlfriend and I are currently on our search to find our first home, and it's been about 6 months and we've seen a lot of houses, and these houses tend to range anywhere from 350,000 to about 550,000, which where we live in Alberta, Canada, the 350,000 would be considered a first home or a starter home with about 1,500 square feet, 2 to 3 bedrooms, and a double garage. Whereas the 550,000 would usually be about 2,000 plus square feet, 3 to 4 bedrooms with a triple garage, what people would normally consider a forever home or a long-term home. And we like the idea of both, saving quite a bit while getting still a decent amount of space. But we also like the idea of having a lot of space or more spacious living area while we live in it for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But at what cost? Let's go see if numbers can be trusted. So we will assume that some of the utility costs are going to be comparable between the two houses. The water cost, the waste, the internet, and the transportation, they're going to be pretty similar whether you live in a big house or a small house. The areas that they will differ are going to be the down payment, the mortgage payments, and the property insurance, and then the property tax, and lastly the heating and the electricity costs. And we'll also assume the 1.7% interest rate, which is unbelievably low, but it's the case in Alberta, Canada in 2021 January. So we'll look at the difference between the two houses in terms of costs to us. So we'll start with some outright and monthly costs, and for the $350,000 home, the 5% down payment will be $17,500. And for the monthly mortgage, it will be $1,415 at 1.7% on a 25-year term. And the property tax, which is 0.9% in our city, is about $3,150 per year, which is $262.50 per month. Power, $125 per month, and the gas and the heating, it's about $200 per month because we live in Canada where it's cold. And insurance, it's about $100 per month. So outright you have to pay about $17,500, and then from then on you pay about $2,102.50 per month afterwards. And that's gonna fluctuate after 5 years or however your mortgage term is, because again the rate might go up or down, most likely up. And for the forever home, which is 550,000, you have to pay 5.45% down payment, which is exactly 30,000. And monthly payments or monthly mortgage at about $22 and $12 at 1.7% on a 25-year term. And the 0.9% property tax again goes to about $4,950 per year or $412.50 per month. And the power, you're going to use up a bit more power, let's say $150 per month. And heating also about $250 per month. And insurance about $130, $150 per month. So total cost is $30,000 outright and about $3,154.50 per month for major costs. So the difference of about $1,052 per month or about $12,624 per year. Yeah, you can save it, you can splurge it, or you can just invest it. Whatever you do, $13,000 per year is a significant amount of money, at least to myself. And what I would personally do is to purchase a rental property, like an apartment, condo, or a townhouse, and rent it out. And yes, you might not have renters every now and then, but the $10,000 per year or $1,000 per month is enough to cover most of that cost. And once you have a renter, then you're just building equity at that point for free. But at the same time, I get it. The $550,000 house is a much bigger house, much nicer house, and you can still have that for a little bit over $500,000. So if you have a big family or have lots of toys to store, then the $550,000 forever home is not a bad choice if you don't want to keep moving around. Moving on to the second part, which is the total cost over the 25 years. And when you buy a home with the mortgage, you have to pay back the principal, which is the purchase price with the mortgage insurance, and interest, which is money you'll never see again. So looking at these two homes, the total cost for the $350,000 home, you pay $424,417, and $345,800 is the principal, and $78,517 is interest. And for the $550,000 home, you pay $663,750, and $540,800 is the principal, and $122,950 is the interest. We won't focus so much on the principal because that's how much the house is worth, but the interest part is where we'll focus on, and the difference was about $44,433 over 25 years, which is about $1,777 per year, or about $150 per month that you just throw out just to have a nicer house. And this amount will only get bigger as the interest rate change over the time period of the 25-year term. And I did a test math to see how much it would cost if it was 3% throughout the mortgage term, and that was about $81,000 over the 25 years, or about $3,200 or $3,300 per year, or about $270 per month, just thrown out if it was at 3%. So gotta keep in mind that this monthly extra cost might increase over time in form of mortgage payments, yes, but it might increase over time to a point where you might say, is it really worth having a big house? So lastly, I'll talk about the 32% rule, which is a rule I talked about last year when I compared housing prices in Canada. And basically what this rule is that it's telling you that you shouldn't spend more than 32% of your gross income on housing. So you shouldn't spend more than 32% on the mortgage, the property tax, and the property insurance. So looking at our two homes, the 0.32 times gross income should be greater than housing expenses. So gross income should be housing expenses divided by 0.32. So for the $350,000 home, the gross income should be about $5,554.69 per month, or $66,656 per year. And for the $550,000 home, it should be about $8,600 per month, or about $100,000 or $103,000 per year. Given that the average income in Canada is about $55,000, having two people work in the same household at the average jobs will be $110,000, which will enable to afford you that $550,000 home. Whether it's a good choice to be on the higher limit of your income, that's personal choice, because going with the $350K home will give you a lot more wiggle room and also some room to save, splurge, or invest. But as long as you're in a professional or a stable industry, then owning a $550K home is an option, but $350K would probably be the safer choice. So in conclusion, even after all these calculations, I'm pretty torn, because if I'm only focusing on the numbers aspect, it's pretty obvious I have to go with the $350,000 starter home and invest the rest into building my equity. But at the same time, the thought of living in a much bigger house and much nicer house for $550,000 is pretty tempting. You'll have much more room for your bigger family and more toys, and it might make more sense if you have a lot of kids or a lot of toys. And also it's a way of forced saving, because after the 25 years you will have a asset that's bigger value. But knowing myself, being a bang for the buck person, I think it'll depend on what's coming out on the market, and I'll probably pick up the one that has the best bang for the buck value, and it won't matter whether it's $350,000 or $550,000. But what do you guys think? Should a person get a starter home, or skip and just get into a forever home thinking that they'll live there for a long time and invest the smaller amount into building their equity. Let me know down below, and until next time, bam.